Welcome to this quick little tutorial. Today we're going to be focusing on how to navigate around the 3D space within SOLIDWORKS. So first things first, make sure you've got yourself a mouse. If you're trying to do this on a laptop trackpad, just give up because it's really difficult. The easiest way to do this is with a mouse, preferably one like this with a scroll wheel in the middle and a scroll wheel that has a kind of a button to it. So if you can hopefully hear that. Right, let's get this started. I will just minimize myself like so. So in SOLIDWORKS I've got an assembly of a piston which has been made in one of our other tutorials, which I'll link down in the description. The first thing I want to show you is zooming in and out. Now, relatively simplistic. The only reason that I'm showing you this is because it's not the intuitive way that you would expect from using other bits of software. And what I mean by that is usually when you kind of move the scroll wheel forward, you zoom in, but with SOLIDWORKS it's just the reverse. An easy way I like to think of remembering that is if you push the scroll wheel away from you, you're basically pushing the part away from you, and then the reverse to zoom back in, obviously. If you hold your mouse in a certain location, it will kind of zoom relative to that. So you can see, I can kind of, if I hold my mouse over the top of the piston, it will kind of bring that into the forefront. But if I hold my mouse kind of over to the side in free space and zoom out, then it's gonna move out relative to that position. The next thing I'm going to show you is rotation. This is where we use that button on the scroll wheel. So I'll zoom in again. So what you do is you just press the middle mouse button and hold it and move your mouse at the same time, and you can see that allows me to rotate around the part in a direction that depends on how I move my mouse. That's really easy. The next way that you can rotate around is by using the arrow keys on the keyboard. When you use the keyboard, the direction of the arrows that you press determines which direction you rotate in, and if I'm correct, it rotates you by about 15 degrees each time. So pressing the up arrow, rotating this way, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. Yeah, really easy. Just a nice way to move yourself by a small increment without having to faff around if you're doing other things with the mouse. The next thing to note, and this took me a little while before I learnt this, but it's really helpful, especially if you're working on a part quite zoomed in. So for example, if I zoom in to this retaining clip here, so I'm going to zoom into the tip, and you can see if I hold my mouse over the retaining clip, there's like an orange outline, whereas if I don't, you just get the normal black outline. If I hold my mouse over the part and now I rotate, what it will do is it'll make the center of rotation where I clicked the mouse or click the middle mouse button, and that makes it really easy to kind of stay within the area that you want to view, and it's a bit more it's kind of easier to wrap your head around where you are and how you're moving. If I don't do that, so for example around this retaining clip you can see there's just kind of empty space. If I put my mouse there and try and rotate, I will completely lose kind of idea of where I am, and that's a real pain in the ass, especially if you're trying to do some complicated sketching, etc. But if you do that, there's a easy fix. Just press F, and F brings in the whole part back into your display. The next thing I want to show you is the pan tool. So again, we're using the middle mouse button, but this time in conjunction with the control key. So click Control, click the middle mouse button, and now move your mouse, and you can see that we're basically panning around the part. In this case, it looks like I'm moving the part, but I'm not moving the part. Basically, I'm moving kind of side to side of the part, and if I go up and down, I'm kind of moving up and then down of the part, but you know, it's all relative, so it doesn't really matter. The next kind of nice and quick tool to use to navigate around is using the space bar. This is another way of kind of moving your way around the part. So if I click the space bar, we get this cube, and I can interact with this cube in the same way that I can interact with the part. So I can kind of rotate around it, and it just gives you some of the set views. So we've got kind of the relevant planar views, and that's just a nice way of quickly getting around. Now if this doesn't come up when you press the space bar, if you don't get this cube, what you can do is go up to the top of the display here, and you've got the view orientation button. If you click on the drop down, and then in the corner of it you will get this little view selector button. Press that, and that'll either toggle on or toggle off the cube view. If you haven't got it on, when you press the space bar, you'll just get a kind of little mini kind of display version of that, but that's less interactive. Yeah, use whichever one you want. So that's basically everything I've got to say. Hopefully that was informative, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and get subscribed. We've got plenty more videos to come.